If it were me, I would focus on what I have to gain versus what I have to lose. If I had very little muscle and a lot of body fat, then from my perspective, I would not actually be focused on anything aesthetic. I would assume that I was not as strong as I should be and not as physically capable as I needed to be. I would focus primarily on being a human that was physically strong. And I'm not saying necessarily training for strength, but maybe you would train for some strength and some hypertrophy, but I would just start putting in the reps. I would obviously see what my baseline diet is, prioritize dietary protein. It's very difficult to store protein as fat. It's very difficult, like you said, you're like, I get to 90 grams. If I have one more buffed cow, I'm gonna shoot myself. It becomes very difficult to overeat dietary protein. And there may be some impact on this adaptive thermogenesis. The body's very smart. So if you start reducing calories too rapidly, the body will adjust. But dietary protein, and from my perspective, one of the reasons why it has this more thermic effect of food, thermic effect of feeding, is that it's so valuable and it does stimulate muscle protein synthesis that the machinery of that may take more energy than the energy required to utilize carbohydrates. Could be 10% and protein could be anywhere between 15 and 20%. Again, depending on the study that you look at, and foods are not just primarily one thing. If you are an individual who needs to lose weight and build muscle, could you do both at the same time? You could. Would it be as effective? No. I would say you start with what you have to gain, because that individual didn't get there by focusing on what they had to gain.